Welcome to the Pathfinder operations video for RM Metals. This will be the typical opening screen when you begin the Pathfinder software on our machine. And for the operator, if it's not to operator, get the pull down menu and select operator, and our password is 3232, and we want to start out by creating a new profile. Okay, to start out making a profile, we'll first add a line segment, and we're going to go 1/2 inch. We're going to start out with a hem, so the hem will be 1/2 inch, and we want to add in a hem. And because a closed hem on our machine is 0.19, and an open hem is 0.25, but we're going to go with 0.19. Do the drip edge segment, which is 0.625, and then we're going to negative 135 is our bend angle. So that's good. Hit enter, add another line segment, and at this point this profile is going to have a finished side on it, and we want to let the machine tell us which way to put the material in the machine. This one's pretty simple, but some profiles can get a little more complicated. Paintbrush indicates which side is the finish, so we want to change that right there. And then we're going to do 4 inches for the face of this drip edge. We're going to go 90 degrees for that angle, and then 2 inches for that top. And just because I'm kind of this way, we're going to make the picture look exactly like we would draw it. So here's your drip edge. We want to tell the machine what material we're using, and if we'd like to, we can name it. So in this line, you'd indicate what you'd like to name it. You can choose a category. Say in this case, we want to do standard items, and do, well, looks like I don't have it in there yet. Anyway, we'll just do standard items. Say we're going to do this one out of 032 aluminum. Hit OK. And from here, we'll go to the bend sequencing screen, and so we'll hit this bend sequencing button, and it's going to give us 2 options. The first option is going to do the hem, it's going to close it, and do the drip edge, and then bend the 90. The other option that it tends to give starts out with the hem outside of the machine, and I don't really see any reason to do it that way because you want to use the hem to size it. So once we've selected this, it's blue, the check mark, and it's going to bring us to the bend operations, or the machine operations screen. So it's got our hem bend, our hem close, the drip edge, and the 90 degree, or the drip bend, and then the 90 degrees. So what I tend to do is set the clamp open position. This is where you would do this. Normally it would be on the older controller, it was in a different spot, but we want to set that to 0.6 inches because we're doing a 1/2 inch hem. And there'll normally be on the screen a calculator in some places where there might be some number entry, and in this case it doesn't pop open automatically. You have to select it and it'll stay open until you close it. So wanting the clamp open position to 0.6, the clamp open position on the bend to 0.6, and then I want to change the back gauge. I want to have it move offset 0.12 inches into the machine so that when it comes down it doesn't tweak that hem. And then I could have changed this in the profile editor, but just for demonstration, it converts, even though we entered the inside angle as 135 degrees, the machine's going to bend 45 degrees up. But I want to change that. I want to make it -10 because the extra thickness of the hem is going to make it bend more. So -10 degrees comes out to be pretty close to giving you right at a 45 degree bend on most materials. And then let's say the material that we're bending is only 8 foot long. So if we leave this overbend angle on the last bend at 0, it's going to overbend it because it's narrow. So we want to put -2 degrees for that bend. And then we're all done. The blue, if it's highlighted in blue, that's where it's going to start. So say you're bending along and you want to rebend something. Say you want to change, say you're bending along at the, putting the drip in it, and you're to your last bend, but you want to go back to that one. You'll hit the stop button. It's highlighted blue, so when you hit run, that's where it'll start out. So we'll hit this first one and hit run, and it'll tell us that the painted side is up, which is wrong. I don't know why it does this to me, but it does. So we want to change that. I think when it transfers to the bend operation or the sequencer, for some reason it defaults back to the original. So you want to, once you're done with that, you want to make sure that it's where it is, and then hit play, which is run, and you're ready to go. Once you're done, hit stop. Down here it'll tell you how many profiles you've completed, and even though you've entered all this information right here and you've confirmed it, you still want to save it by pressing the little disk, and it'll ask you if you want to save it or cancel if you don't want to save it. And then if we do save it, we'll just put a fake name. And once it's been saved, the option to do that has gone away. So there you go.